What you've always been a sneakerhead? Is that
Always,
kind of
yeah,
been
always been into sneakers. But over the last probably 2.5 years, I've been working on something on my side, on the side from wearing whatever I was wearing on the court. I was with Nike for 4 years. Then I went over to Q4 Sports. They kind of got my juices going when it came to like the creative side of things. And then after that, I just kind of went on my own and said, hey, I'm gonna kind of figure it all out.
How does that work? How does that process work?
What really sparked it? What was it that made you want to really start your own thing with it?
Well, I started seeing like guys like that were in my not similar position, but guys that were in the league that their careers were kind of dwindling down, or guys that they had opportunity to kind of like continue to blow up, but they never had ownerships into their own brand.
Right.
You saw the situation with Kawhi Leonard, like he lost ownership of his own, the claw, like basically like with Nike. So stuff like that, like it kind of like, I don't want to say it frustrating, but it just like it didn't give like the players and guys that I kind of coordinated with, like, man, we want to be able to own and understand, hey, how do we push our own brands and kind of roll with that. And so it kind of got my juices going. I was like, hey, look, how can I start? First and foremost, a shoe. Like, how do I build a shoe out by myself? And then it kind of built to like, hey, look, let me figure out a way to launch my own brand at that point.
Yeah, I mean the shoes. I was looking on the website. I'm gonna have to go buy me some shoes.
Yeah, please.
I'm so like he's got his shoe collection is way better than mine. I'm growing mine. It's a gradual process. Mine doesn't look like Odell's. Have you seen Odell?
Yeah, I saw.
I mean, that's unbelievable. That looks like you walk into a store.
Did he ever say how many he had? Did he ever say?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a.
We need to know the number. I need to know the number.
Because it looked like you're walking into like the Nike store.
Even
more than that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
His closet's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
How do you even sell that house? Like he's obviously
well, he
put
does.
it up for sale.
You don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to sell that one.
I mean, that closet becomes a room or something.
Especially in Cleveland. Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty tough. I mean, I got a pretty big collection. I probably got about 3,500 to 4,000 pairs. So I'm probably up there with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what he has like exclusive wise and whatnot.
Right. Well, when you're with Nike for 4 years, you get
80,000 shoes.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, did you get rid of all the other ones, or you still only use yours? Or you have a little mix of different brands?
So I still have my the collection that I collected. I still have that.
Okay.
That's kind of like I have like my own like side brand called LG Kicks, and that's basically where I have my own community where we talk about sneakers, selling, and trading sneakers and different things like that. So that's like a side hustle, something that I do on the side, but. Ethics is kind of like what I've been pushing, what I've been.
How long has Ethics been? How long has it been like a company?
About 6 months now.
Oh, so it's new,
brand new. Yeah,
Nice.
6 months. Yeah, I launched it in the finals this past season when I was with the Suns. Came out, talked about it, wore them on the court. Everybody kind of wanted to see more about it, and then it kind of went from there. And then crazy with with COVID going on and things like that.
Yeah.
Like the shipment process was it was like 5-month process, like waiting for the shoes. Like we literally had the shoes done, and I get updates every couple of days. All right, the shoes are in Korea, the shoes are stopped here and this port, that port, and the next thing you know they finally get to Houston, and then when they finally get to Houston, then it's like, all right, now we got to wait a whole another 2 weeks, 3 weeks till they can kind of unload all the other crates in front of us. So.
The real world stuff.
Real world problem. Well,
that's a perfect transition. You had a question to go for it.
Well, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like,
what size is he? That's what I was thinking. You wouldn't have to be a 9, would you?
Jesus.
I'm a 12 and a half.
Oh,
hey, that fits me.
Oh, no.
There it is.
I can just wear a bunch of
literally,
socks.
like you obviously live a life in tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Top 3 to 5 pair. Like what's a pair that you would literally buy until like you would keep rebuying?
On the court or off the court?
Either.
So I'll give you my top 3 off the court and top 3 on the court. Top 3 off the court, like my personal favorites. Jordan 13, he got games. That's my favorites. Like so, 13, I can rock them all the time. I can always rock like Asics. I'm always rocking those. And then if I had to, just rock anything, just some New Balance, some 775, something like that. Like those 3 are probably my best, best shoes.
Yeah.
On the court wise, probably like Kobe. 4s, 5s, 6s. I can't do the 8 lows. Yeah, I mean I have all the I have all of them, but man, I can't do them. I'm trying to think what else. I've done like the Hyperfuse back in the day, those throwback colors.
Yeah.
And then probably just some if I had to go like a different brand. What else did I rock? I did some Adidas, like some what were they called? Not the Crazy Eights, but what's the other one that they called? I can't. But I'll just go Crazy. Yeah. They like the basically like the shell toe version, but they're like high tops.
Okay.
I can't think of the names of them right now. I'll think of it in a second though. But yeah, those.
You talked about launching it in the finals,
yep.
right? When we were with Phoenix. Mm-hmm. You've obviously, your career has been. I kind of really want to get into it. Hopefully, you don't have a time limit because I have some questions. Because I played baseball, right? Yep. So like, you have the minor leagues. You go up and down the minor leagues. Basketball seems like it's the only other professional sport that really does, like, you can bounce around from team to team. Like you're 10-day contracts, G League, or now you get signed.
Yep.
How does the process work in basketball? If because you first started, you played for the Pels, which that had to be awesome. You played for basically your hometown team. Mm-hmm. But how does like a 10-day contract work compared to if you're a full-time or whatever player?
Yeah. The biggest thing, you only had that 10-day window to figure out, hey, look, can I sustain on this team? How can I show out? How can I, get all the, I don't want to say accolades, but just really just have an impressive 10 days. You normally get about 3 to 4 games in that window, or at least if with this year, COVID happened, so you would kind of get allotted like those 3 or 4 games. If something happens with COVID where you couldn't travel, because we had an incident this year. I was with Brooklyn. My 10-day window got extended.
Oh, Kyrie Irving.
Well, that was a whole different situation. But we were supposed to go to play Portland because we had LA on Christmas Day, and so we were getting ready to head to Portland that day. They canceled the game because I think somebody on Portland caught COVID, so they didn't have enough players to play. So basically, like my window for basically my 10-day was going to end the day after Christmas. So now they pushed it back and just said, all right, well, we're going to give you more days so you can play that 3-4 games in that window. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure you can understand. Like,
it's a grind.
Side. Yeah, it's a grind. It's mentally. Sometimes you have guys on the team that, they pull for you. Sometimes you don't, and you just gotta lock into those, a couple of days and figure it all
out. So you got to experience the finals. NBA playoffs right now are, to me, I love basketball. Mm-hmm. I grew up playing basketball. Basketball was my favorite sport growing up. Right. Mm-hmm. NBA season's long, kind of just like the Major League Baseball season.
Right,
you can't. It's hard to watch and keep up with every game.
Yeah.
When the playoffs come,
everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching,
not to watch.
And it's electric, right? It's electric. Like, it's physical. The rest call games way differently.
Yep, for sure.
From the start of it too.
And guys are going there balls to the wall because they know like this is it, right?
Yep.
So like you're getting the best of everybody.
Right.
Talk to me about, and you had experience with the Bucks.
Yep.
And the Suns. Mm-hmm. So you have a couple teams that are in the playoffs. What was your playoff experience like, and what's what have you seen in these playoffs?
The biggest thing is, which sucks for a lot, for the teams that I've played on, injuries. Injuries is huge, and so, Milwaukee's dealing with Chris Middleton going down, so that's kind of hurting them. I mean, not in the sense of like they're still taking care of business, but playing against a Boston team that's healthy.
Yeah.
They got everybody. I mean,
not Giannis has the bully ball the whole time.
Yeah, Marcus Smart was out, but now he's back. But that's kind of a tough team to play against.
Yeah.
The defense is through the roof right now. They're cooking on all cues right now. But and then when you look at playing with the Suns, Book had hurt his hamstring early in the series with the Pels. So that was kind of like hey, it can go either way.
Right.
So that's what really is going on in this playoffs. Like a lot of guys are getting hurt left and right, but it's kind of like luck, but all at the same time too, it's like, hey, look, it's just everything falls in place. Really, like that's really what it comes down to. And if you can kind of withstand getting those 4 games and beating a team 4 times in a row, or 4 times in that span, hey, that's tough. It's tough to do.
You've gotten.
Talk about. Speaking about injuries and speaking about the playoffs, the one thing you have in the playoffs is you always have those days off to recover, right? Speak about how hard it is going through the regular season, and you have the back-to-backs. How tough that is, because I think people don't understand how tough it is.
Hey, I played pickup
Play
basketball
one,
on Monday.
and here we go. We go again the next day. How tough is that?
I played pickup basketball on Monday, and my legs were killing me after 3 times up and down the court. So I can't imagine going back to back.
Yeah. Nah, back to backs. I mean, you get used to it as your
Right.
career goes on. I feel like your rookie year, like it's really hard because you'll have a back to back, then you'll have a day off, then you'll have another back to back. So it's like you're playing 4 games in 5 nights. But as your career goes on, you're traveling on those back to back. Sometimes that's what really you understand and try to take care of your body as best you can. But even in the playoffs, it's kind of tough because you'll have you'll play day in between, play again. Then they don't really they never explain like you're traveling the day after that next game, so it's not.
You don't travel after the game.
No, not on the day when you're going to this next city.
Oh wow!
So y'all wait till the next morning.
Right, the next morning. But I'm saying this is in between. So the first 2 games in the series. So you'll play a Monday and a Wednesday.
Right.
You'll travel Thursday, and then you'll play most of if it's down to the last 2 teams. They'll split it where, you'll have a day to get there, you'll practice, then they'll have another day where you'll practice again, and then you'll play.
Right.
So you'll have the travel day, practice that evening, day off the next day where you have another practice. So you get your legs, okay.
James Harden's dream.
Right. But then as the series kind of progresses on, so once you get out of 2-2, then it gets to 1. That's when you're like, all right, you'll have a game on a Monday, you'll play. Travel Tuesday, play Wednesday. So it's like that's really
how long
So
did
why
it take
don't
you?
y'all travel after the game?
Yeah.
Just because the scenario where some teams do like to travel depending on how far the location is. But I remember we were playing. So I'm just rewinding back. Like we played Denver. We always would wait to the next day to travel because. If you think about it, they're on Mountain Time, and then we're going back to West Coast time. I mean, we gain an hour back, but still, you're not getting into 2-3 in the morning, and then you got the whole next day is ruined at that point. So you just let's just wait till the next day and travel.
See, that's more strategic than baseball. After you
I'm
fly.
about to say because baseball, what they play, you guys play a three game. It's a 3-game series, right?
3 or 4
game series, and then you travel to the next city, or how does it go?
Yeah, so we'll have. Say it's a 3-game series. You play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
After the game on Wednesday, you fly to the next city.
Okay.
You don't have the day off the next day.
Okay.
Usually you play another 3-4 games. Usually the way it works is probably going to be 3 and 4. Usually you probably have, unless you're playing a 2-game series in a week, which only happens if it's a close, close
somebody
travel.
in division or something like that.
Yeah, so you'll have 10 straight days of playing, but there's no days off in between.
That's tough.
Yeah, then you travel. Because the same thing. Sometimes, if you're going from coast to coast, they'll give you a day off.
They give you a day off.
But just like you said, what y'all don't want to do, it's pretty routine in baseball. You're getting in at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're playing.
In Detroit, we had a stretch in 2017. We had a stretch where because we were good, we had a bunch of guys we were supposed to be good that year.
Really good squad,
And so we had a bunch of primetime late night games. So we would get it was a 10-day road trip.
Right.
So we finished the game. We had Sunday night baseball in Boston.
Right.
Had to fly from Boston, and we had to fly to Chicago after the game. Right. Usually Sundays are day games.
Right.
Night games. So we got into Chicago at 3:30 in the morning. Had to play the next day.
Yep.
Right. Game gets rained out. Have to play a doubleheader the day after that.
Right.
Late night. Fly to San Diego.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get a day off, or actually you do get a day off, but we didn't get until 4 a.m.
Right, so it's ruined.
Right, play
which
San
is really
Diego.
6 a.m.
Right,
because your body's on West
crazy.
Coast time.
Yeah, West Coast.
I mean East Coast time at the time.
Then we leave there and go back to Detroit, and we land in Detroit. We landed 3 times at 4 a.m. It was awful. It was brutal, but that's kind of the problem with.
So tell me, what is the process with I've always wondered this. I've talked to so many baseball guys over the years, but I've never asked them. So say all right, you're playing a new series. What is the time frame? You get into the stadium and work you have your hidden times. You have you're chilling in the locker room. Then it's all right. Then it's game time. Not till 7 o'clock.
Right.
What is that?
I mean it
depends.
just kind of depends. As the year goes, it gets kind of different. It just kind of depends on
really age.
your staff.
Okay.
Kind of depends on how you're playing.
Right.
You know, so but I mean, mostly it's usually at the field 12 to 2-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
depending
like if
on
you're
what
at
it is
home,
that you do, that you want to do somewhere in that area.
Right.
Game at 6 or 7.
Yep.
And kind of go through that.
Yeah, like if you have BP, like if you're at home, batting practice is going to be a little earlier. So let's say batting practice is at 3:45.
Right.
Like stretch.
Yep.
So really before that 3:45 window is if you want to get a workout in or you have treatment or do whatever. So you have, if you want to get in the cage and do your early stuff, like usually 1 o'clock.
Right.
Is like, that would be early, right? Like, so I always get there early, 1 o'clock, and you get 2.5 hours really of
Relax.
treatment, relax, take your time doing your stuff.
Yep.
Get out to the field, BP, come back, have another hour and a half.
Right.
If you're starting, you get to leave a little early from BP.
Okay.
Hour and a half before the game. But yeah,
I would imagine for that stretch you just talked about, for the tail end of that stretch, it was probably
show and goes.
And if it was BP, it was probably super optional, which probably no one did it.
No one did, yeah.
So it was literally, hey, bro, 6 o'clock, like I'm here, like I'm just, you know.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So like basketball? So our owner in Detroit had owned the plane,
Right.
right? So he owned part of the Red Wings, so we used their plane, right?
Yep.
But like, y'all don't have as many now. Y'all are way bigger than us,
Right.
but y'all don't have as many guys. Do y'all get fire ass planes, or y'all get the normal plane?
Regular planes.
No, that makes you so mad.
So it's like it's not like a normal plane that like you fly on like on a commercial, but it's like, so you think about they'll have a 16-seater first class, right? Then they'll have another probably 2, 4, 6, 8, another 12 seats. That's another first class section. Then they'll have another.
Sounds pretty fire so far.
Another 12 for the coaches. So
Right.
basically, that's like another 12, like, you know.
But they're just
class.
normal, like they're
just
like
bigger.
lounge?
They recline, lounge kind of like seats for like the players. Like players, it's a player section and another player section. Then there's a coach section, and then they have the regular seats after that. So that's kind of where it's at.
Who was the playoff team? Was it the
Wait, so
Clippers?
y'all coaches sit behind y'all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of the opposite.
Yeah,
the opposite way of
baseball is
For real.
opposite.
Coaches
The
are always
coaches in
up
the
front.
front.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
But we have so y'all don't have like tables and stuff on the planes. Like,
We do
y'all
have two tables. Two tables. Yeah.
And y'all have like 2 and 2, like the
Yeah.
six.
Yep.
Okay,
So
so
you
it's
play
basically the
so you
same
play
thing.
Blu-ray and all that.
Oh,
Blu-ray,
yeah.
Yeah.
That shit gets wild, huh?
I don't play that, man.
You don't play Blu-ray?
I play on the small table.
That's what I did. So
B
we had,
table.
Give me the low budget table.
we had
a dollar table back in the
Yeah,
day.
man.
Dollar,
That's-
$5. You know, we was
That's
back
what
in
I
the back. Yeah.
we had the A game, which was
Yeah.
like
The money
Miggy
game.
and Verlander.
Those are $100
The money game.
games.
Well, so that they would play. They like to play poker. When
Oh.
I was in Tampa, it was Blu-ray was the whole thing. It was $100 a hand. I'm like, okay, I'm out on that. Out on that. But the A game poker was like $2K buy-in. I'm like, I'm out on that.
$2K?
Buy-in for the poker game.
God.
And like, but now these guys are making like $28 million a year. Like these are the guys, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in the B game and say, hey, you can throw in $100 and you can play, or you don't have to play.
Man, I've seen-
I'm gonna sit back in the B game. And I'm gonna take my time.
I've seen it all, man. I've seen guys lose 100,000 in 30 minutes. I've seen guys lose 100,000 in an hour-long flight. Like, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
And people are pumped for the long flights.
And yeah, no, guys are pumped. Like they come in there with the little duffel bags.
And you over there like, nah,
They come in with the
nah.
baggie, like, oh man, here we go. And then they in there, they clapping and talking and doing. I'm like, oh,
So needless to say, these plane rides ain't
It's
very
bad.
quiet either.
Hey,
no,
I've seen
They got the music bumping and it's just going. Yeah, it's going.
I've
It's
seen
going.
people walk out of the planes, no more cash in their hand. They have to write checks. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You lost all your
yeah.
cash. Now you're writing checks to people. That's not.
So how do you guys do it? Do they have to pay after the flight, or do y'all pay on the way back?
So it depends. If it's a road trip,
Right,
like if
right.
we have different legs of the road trip,
Yep.
you pay at the end of the road trip.
Okay, all right.
But if it's like one trip
Yeah.
and you're going there and you're going back, like,
Yeah.
hey, give me the money, it's over.
Dang.
You know, but if it's a full road trip, you have your time to like
yeah,
to get
make
it back.
sure you
But, like,
get
if
it
it's
back.
just-
Get a couple game checks.
yeah, once the trip's
Yeah.
over. So if it's
Yeah.
just a series and back, that's it. You
That's
have the flight there and the flight back.
Yep, yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
That's it. Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah.
But I don't get on that. And then and then, like you said, people have some drinks. It's you have music, and like I see people lose all this money, and like it's high energy in the plane. You're like, damn, if I'm losing all this money, I don't want to talk to anybody or see anybody.
I'm salty.
I am salty. Get the music off. Turn the music off.
Man.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I've seen guys like they finish the game on the plane, then they'll say, we didn't finish that hand because somebody got booed. Then they'll go on the bus.
Yeah.
They be playing on the bus, and then the game doesn't finish on the bus. Then they go to the hotel room like, no, we going to my room right now. We got to finish the game. Like they just they're into it.
Bourré. Have you ever played Bourré?
It's
I love Bourré. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not playing with the money that we're throwing.
It's basically playing spades, but you're just switching just to, what the spade is.
Yeah.
Basically, that's Bourré.
I don't think I would be in any of these games. It doesn't matter. I don't have a duffel. I don't have a 5. Yeah.
What's let's try to get back to it. But I asked you a little bit about the postseason, right? This year.
Yep.
Who do you like to win it?
Ooh,
I feel like this is kind of it's a hard one. Like there's not really a team that's running away with it.
I mean, I want Phoenix to win because I played with them last year. I'm cool with all the guys there. I really want CP get opportunity to win it all.
I thought they were gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean they got a good chance. But man, I mean Golden State's really playing well. They Jordan Poole. I mean I started the season off with them, and Jordan Poole he's taking his game to a whole nother level. He's really like brought that team together.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's tough to go against, Giannis and them. Like, they're a matchup problem because
they're so long everywhere, too.
Yeah, it's just like when we played against them last in the finals, like Giannis is playing like 1 through 5. Then you got Portis is playing basically like 4 and 5. Like he can rotate in. Then you got Brook Lopez like comes in. He's playing 4 or 5. Sometimes he's playing 3. Then you got Drew and you have Chris Middleton and like that's. I mean, their starting lineup is 6'5" and above.
Because even people don't realize their guards are some big guards.
Yeah, they're 6'5". Like Drew is 6'5", 6'6". Chris is 6'9".
See, I think
big too though. Like
I don't realize that Drew's that tall.
You
realize that Drew's that big.
Man.
Yeah, you don't realize on TV like you're watching like the guys like when the guys are standing next to each other they look the same height. Right. So it's like when you like up close in person. That's why I tell people. If you go to a game, like try to sit as close as you can to the court.
Yeah, your basketball game is not anything unless you can sit.
Yeah, you gotta sit courtside or like close to the court because you can see how fast they're moving.
Right.
When you're watching on TV or you're watching up high, they're not playing hard. They're not doing this and the third. But it's like actually like when you get down close, you're really seeing how fast guys are moving. Guys making tough shots. Like guys really, really physical. Like that's just the game. So
it's funny you say because I've been thinking the same thing about him. Like I was like. That's probably about 5 games this year. I like sat down and watched Milwaukee play, and I'm like, dog, they're good, man.
Yeah,
like they're really, really good. And like I said, you don't realize.
When you have Giannis, it's such a matchup issue.
Yeah.
You've played with a lot of guys that are pretty special, right? Yep. Who is out of all the guys you've played with? Who not against, obviously, because you've played against the entire NBA, but with who's the most special guy that you've played with? Obviously, you said you played with Suns, so you have Book and then CP3, but
like what type of like
good, as far as like, they're talented, but like just the way they go about their business, everything just all together.
I'll probably say from seeing Steph this year, he's probably the most like in-game workout guy that I've seen because. The shots that he throws them up in practice too. He does the same thing in practice. So it's like he works on like he'll be like and it goes up and you're like nah, it's good.
And he's running around that much in practice.
Oh, like he'll like his pregame or like it's basically like before practice workout. So like after practice workout, like he does the same exact thing every single time.
Damn. You got guys on the 10-day in there, and you got to go ahead to Steph Curry, like switch, quick switch.
Yeah.
He's throwing floaters from half court that are somehow falling. Yeah, how does this happen?
It's just like wow, man, this dude's different.
What was your welcome to the NBA moment? Like what stuck out like your rookie year, and you're like, oh shit.
I'd probably say just like the speed. Number one, that was huge. So like speed, and then like. Every single matchup, like there's no nights off. So I'm a smaller guy, so I'm playing point guards. I'm guarding point guards and 2s. Every single night I'm playing against the best guy on the team. So there was a stretch when I was with New York. I played Russ one night. The next night I had to play against CP. And then the following night, I had to play, and this is like a span.
This is super young Russ too at this point.
Yeah, and the Russ is like going crazy at this point. Like,
is it
he wasn't rocking the baby yet.
Before rocking,
triple double Russ?
Before that. This is just Russ just going crazy, just
angry
like,
Russ.
Like way too athletic Russ.
Yeah, going full speed, dunking on people, just like yelling, screaming like that. That was Russ. Like, Then you had CP when you had Lob City.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like Lob City is like crazy at this point. Every time you step on the court, like people are already yelling, "Oh, here we go!" Like it's just an anticipation for that. And then like the third matchup I had, we were playing against the Rockets. So I'm guarding James Harden. I'm guarding at the time. Who else did they have? I think that might have been it because James was the only one that was bringing the ball up. Pat Bev might have been there too. Yeah, I think Pat Bev was there. So like those 3 nights, like it's different variations of like how guys, how you gonna guard guys. So it's like.
And then they put those 3 on the same team.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
The real question is, are you a talker on the court?
It depends. If like somebody starts whispering in my ear, or I'm saying something, then I'm like, okay.
Lance Stevenson.
It's weird. Lance is not like a huge talker, but like he's like a instigator where he does stuff like he'll bump you, he'll pull your jersey out or like.
And he looking at you at the corner's eye like he know what he's doing.
Yeah, he does like weird stuff. I don't know, it's weird. Draymond and like Pat Bev are like the 2 guys that like they'll talk while you're playing or something like that and say something to you. But most of the time, I get going when somebody says something to me. Like, that gets me going. Like, I've had, like, a number of teammates, like, we're playing against Detroit last year. I'm with Phoenix. D-Rose says something. You can't guard me like something. Me and him are real close, and he says something. So then I get going. I hit, like, 3 or 4 in a row, and then he's like, okay. Like, he's just, like, talking. So, like, it's just like small battles like that.
It's a mutual respect, you would think, right? Like
absolutely.
You talk it, but like most people are like, that's kind of how it is usually in most sports. Is like your friend, even though you never played with them or against them that much, there's the mutual respect. So like you talk a little shit, but if I talk shit to you and you go out and you score on me, like I respect that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's just funny because in basketball, everything's so close quarters and people don't realize like
Right.
there's a lot of opportunity to talk about.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like,
Hey, a lot of fans get in there though.
It's weird, man. That's a bad dynamic.
That's the only problem with basketball is because you got on-court stuff. Like you had the CP stuff.
That's what's hard. Like
that seat that's right at the end of the bench that they pay for, and you just like, for real?
Yeah, how are you on my bench? Get off my bench.
For real?
Because it's like, all right, you do have like, all right, so say like the fan will be sitting right here. You're the last seat on the bench, and then the fan's sitting right there, and they're talking to you. Philly's crazy because the fan is right here next to you. Then they got a fan right here next to you, so he's looking at you. This guy's talking to you, and you're just like, you're trying to like keep a cool eye, look at the game, watch the game, and then you just see like fans in Philly. They always do that. I mean, I played in Philly. I played with St. Joe's in Philly, so like they hecklers. They always heckling you. So
like we get baseball players get heckled, but we don't have people sitting in our
That's
dugout.
People don't
that's different.
Same thing with
Like
football.
I want to fight people in the stands sometimes, and I can get away from it. But they're on this bench.
No, you go to
can't
the
get away
right
from
next
that.
to you. Right next to you.
You make your way to the end of the bench, and they literally like touching you. You're like, dog, leave me alone. Get out of my face.
And they think that they're supposed to. They're like, this is kosher. Like they don't think there's anything wrong with it. You're like, bro, y'all, we are not the same.
That's what's so funny. Like, and I mean, I respect it because they actually they take care of our bills. So I'm not gonna knock them, but. At the same time, too, sometimes they cross the line. Like, they do too much.
Well, you can make the business model, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's gotten to a point that that's what it is now. You're just like, hey, this is crazy. Like, what goes on with it?
You just, like, you have to just, like, kind of just stay locked in. Sometimes, I mean, you've seen it this playoffs. It's been crazy. Draymond's flipped off the crowd. Kyrie's flipped off the crowd.
CP.
CP. Like, I mean, guys are, like, the fans are really taking it to a whole other level this season. Like it's been crazy to see.
I feel like the COVID, like they weren't in the stadium, so like now they got to make up for lost time. It feels like you took me away from basketball for a full year. Yeah. I'm gonna take advantage of this.
Yeah, it was crazy when last year we played. So you had the bubble. There was no fans. Last season we had the bubble of probably the first 3 quarters of the season. Then they started letting family and friends come to the arena. Right. Then you had the instance where it shifted from family and friends to, all right, now we have about 2,500. Yeah. Then it gets to 4,000. Right. We get to the playoffs. Now they're like, okay, let's get about 6,000 in here, first round. We get past the first round. Okay, second round. Now let's have 10,000 in here. So now you're starting to see, you're starting to get like, oh man, fans in here. Like, okay, we got a little more energy. Then you get to like the third round. Then it's like, we're going to have 14,000 at this point. So, 16,000 seat arena, whatever the case may be. We're basically at capacity at this point. You get to the final, they're like, look, everybody's in. Everybody's in. So you're looking around like, you went from like, oh, I'm cool, I got a lot of space to, dang, people are right here next to me.
We're back.
Like, whoa, like, hold on, when did people get back over here next to me? I thought they were back over there. What's going on? It's a weird dynamic.
Hey, you said you went to St. Joe's, right?
Yep.
Obviously, you're from Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. Walk me through the recruiting process. How did you end up there and not here? Did LSU not talk to you? How's this work?
Yeah, no.
Did you grow up an LSU fan? I don't know.
No, I'm a huge LSU fan.
He got a story for this one.
Yeah, definitely got a story. A lot of people are really disgusted that I didn't come here, but I enjoyed my time at St. Joe's. It all worked out. But so when I was coming out, my junior year, John Brady was still the coach. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys know John Brady, but he had him, Butch Pierre, a couple other guys. I'm like, hey, I'm going to LSU. Like, if they're there, I'm going. Because they had just made it to the Final Four probably about...
Was that 6?
Six went to the Final Four.
Yeah, 6 went to the Final Four. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's all Baton Rouge kids. I'm going. Like, I got like 4 or 5 other guys that's in my class that like, we're all going. Junior year, they all get fired. So we're like, damn, like, what are we going to do now? Senior year, they bring in Trent Johnson. They brought in Trent Johnson. So I'm like, okay.
Most boring brand of basketball I've ever seen.
So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to all the games. They offered me probably like after my freshman year. So I've been at it. I had my recruitment process was crazy because I had Baylor offer me when I was in 8th grade. LSU offered me probably 9th grade, and it just kind of spanned out from there. And so I'm thinking, all right, cool, they're going to be recruiting me hard. I'm going to be, one of the guys. I'm going to be coming over there all the time. And it kind of was the opposite where it was like, come over whenever you want to come over. And, if you want to make the commitment, we're cool with you if you come. And
yeah, it didn't really feel like it, yeah.
It like, almost like was like an obligation that I was coming there, but it was like.
I got offers.
Yeah, like y'all need to offer me. Y'all need to talk to me. Like this needs to be like a game where you're recruiting me, not I'm going to recruit y'all.
Right.
So that happens, and I'm like, nah, look, this doesn't seem right. Then actually, like, they got 2 commitments from like guys that were like 5'9", that I was just like, yo, like, what are we doing here? Like, y'all want me to be in here like scoring the ball and like point guard, or what do you want me to do? So, one of the coaches like he kind of like rubbed me the wrong way one time, and I was like, man, screw it, like I'm not going to LSU, and I'm just like I'm gonna go up to St. Joe's and leave and. It was what
made you want to go to St. Joe's?
So, my mom is from Philadelphia, so I'm like half Louisiana, half Philadelphia.
Okay.
So like that's like my kind of like my second grassroots, like where I was basically raised up at. And so my uncle actually was assistant coach at St. Joe's as well.
Okay.
That helped out with my process.
So you still got family there too? I
got family. It's still up there. And then my grandmother was there too. I wanted her to see me play. She was getting older at the time, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna. I want to go play up there. If anything, if I'm not going to stay home, I'm going to go up there. And so, it was tough because around here, everybody's like LSU, LSU, LSU. But, like, when I left, people really didn't know where I went. They were just like, well, he went up there. Like, they're getting me confused with St. John's and, like, he went to St. Joe. Like, they don't know where I went. So, I kind of put St. Joe's back on the map. Me and, like, the group that came in, we had a really good recruiting class. We went to the tournament, lost out to the eventual national champs of UConn, played well that game. But
that's his team.
Dude, you dropped 25 with UConn.
Yeah, I did drop some points on y'all for sure. So it was a great experience being up in Philly. But I wish I would have stayed home, but it is what it is.
You got to play for the Pels. That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed my time playing with the Pels. I had a good group while I was here.
Obviously, it was a way different organization than it is now.
It is. It was my, because how long was I here? I was here for 4 months, and I got traded.
Yeah.
So it was great until I got traded. I was like, well, here goes the business side of basketball, and then I was going to Sacramento.
Do you know Willie Green, those guys at all?
I know Willie Green because he was on staff with the Suns.
That's right.
He's on staff with the Suns.
I've heard, obviously, the media can say one way or the other. Like, they can make a guy seem awesome, make a guy seem terrible, depending on whatever agenda they want to push.
Yep.
But I think what's the real, it's evident is hearing from the players. Like, Chris Paul came out, talked about how special he was, how close they were. What was your, I guess, experience with Willie?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great because so rewind back all the way to my junior year in college, he actually did it was basically like a lockout going on, and he did it was kind of like a coach / player, like kind of like internship with the team with St. Joe's because he was playing with the Sixers at the time.
Okay.
And so he had the opportunity to come and play. You know, he practiced with us. He played a little bit, but not too much. He was mostly like just working out there in the gym, and then he would coach. And so he would give me pointers all the time, telling me this, that, and the third to, you know, help my game out. And then fast forward, you know, season comes back. He's telling me, hey, come to the games, come watch us play when we're playing the Sixers, because he went from being with the Sixers to playing with the Clippers at the time. And then, you know, his whole career, you know, kind of.
So you've been knowing him for a good while.
Yeah. So he, you know, he's just a player's coach. He really blends in with the guys, and he wants everybody to do well.
And you can see that. He was like emotional after the games.
I mean, I was shocked. I mean, he was emotional last year when we did make it to the finals, but to see him crying like on the court, like after losing that series. I mean, I know he was invested,
right?
You know, highly.
I thought they were gonna win.
They had a good shot.
I really did. Once Booker got hurt, I was like,
you got a shot.
They're gonna win this.
They got a shot. They had a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Smoothie King Center was balling.
I saw everything was jumping. It was jumping.
So what's next? What's next for you in your career? You were with the Hawks.
Yep, finished out with the Hawks. Yep.
You're a free agent.
Free agent. Yep, free agent right now. Yep. So just waiting. I got a couple mini camps this summer, so I'll be going to those starting in June. Just been working out.
See, I wish we had that in baseball.
Yeah.
Like when you're a free agent in baseball, like
something real, like.
Yeah, like let me go show you what I got.
Right.
Not just, hey, let me just.
Now you look at the back of my baseball card and say, oh, this is what I want.
Like we don't have. So there's no like showcase, nothing that we go out there and do stuff to like, hey, this is what I've made, like, because you know baseball you can make a change. Like, hey, I changed my swing. Like my swing's different. Like I had all this stuff that was going wrong. I made the adjustment. But they don't see that. You can tell them. But they don't really see that because there's nothing that you can go out there and showcase. Like, I wish we had that. Like y'all have that where y'all go out there and y'all have like mini camps or whatever y'all go to and kind of showcase y'all skills.
I've always said that because I think basketball is more built on like a show it to me. Like show it to me. Like you almost kind of year in and year out. Where baseball, it's almost like hey, he's done this for the last 5 years. If he says he's healthy, he'll be ready. Yeah. And it's like, man, they don't really go that way though, man. Like
so there's nothing like, so say like, all right, summer goes on and then you're like, all right, well, played well this past season, but nobody calls. Like, do you go back to like AA, AAA, or like,
so like
that's
for me,
what happens basically.
So for me, I was in Detroit until 19, right? They took me off the roster. I was a free agent in 20. Signed with the Phillies. That's when COVID hit. We only had 2 months. I wasn't in the big leagues, but I was at this alternate site just in case, whatever. Right. Ended up not working out. Last year, before the season started, I didn't sign. Nobody. Why did I get
at the alternate site and nobody saw him?
Nobody saw me. And I had 19
they weren't playing anymore.
Between 19 and 20, I changed my swing.
Yeah,
like I made the adjustments that I needed to. My swing felt off. Changed it. Felt great. Played really well on the alternate side, but nobody could see it because of COVID. So I go into the off season, and I'm like, all right, like telling all these guys, all these teams, like I changed my swing. This. So nobody's like giving me any opportunity.
Right.
I signed 3 days into spring training with the White Sox. But I'm in AAA all year, which is in Charlotte, which I'm all right with. Hey, look, I'm going to go show y'all the difference.
Right.
Hit 26 home runs, played really well. I go back into the offseason and nothing. So, like, no offers, no opportunity. And there's obviously now it's current day. It's like, well, I guess I'm done. If I don't get any calls. But, I would have gone and played AAA and just kind of done that in case they needed, a guy up there at some point. But I never got that opportunity. It's crazy. It's crazy. Baseball is a very age-centric sport. Yeah. So, like, they're all trying to go to the younger.
No, that's basketball, too.
But basketball, at least it's a wear and tear, right? Like, it's more of it's harder on your body. Baseball, like, if you're 32,
you feel great.
Baseball's such a skill game. Man.
Yeah.
It's really, you could be the greatest athlete out there, and it still may take you a while to understand the skill of what you're trying to do and to really fine tune it.
And if you're keep really yourself in shape.
And it's really hard to do that at a young age. So it's like you find a lot of guys that look, you got your absolute superstars that are young that come out and they get it done and they're able to do it, right? But it takes a lot of guys a long time to figure out how to do it. Right. Now, if you can keep yourself in shape and be able to do it, that's
a really
for a long career, right? But it's not. It's the model that they've kind of pushed towards more is let's just push young, who is the talent, not necessarily really knows what they're doing with it, but the talent's there.
I think it's every sport, right? Young,
it is. But the economic side of it says, hey, look, this is cheaper.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
So
Yeah,
that's,
it's
that's what it
more-
is.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's the business side of
The
it.
business side of it all. You don't realize it. Like, and I try to tell like my younger guys, like, man, like, while you have it, just go. Like, go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Just try to just push it to the limit. Because it's like if you don't, once that, I don't know if it's like I don't know if they see you differently or like they look at like, all right, well, he's at this age now. Well,
Yeah, they anticipate like, oh, he's not gonna be as good. How do you know?
How do
But
you
that's
know
the
that?
thing. But
Yeah.
that's
How
the
do you
thing.
know?
You're gonna go to a mini camp. There is none of that. They
Yeah.
they see you in baseball. It's like, oh, the back of the car looks
Oh,
like
he's
this.
32.
He's this age.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not, hey, can you come in, work out with us for 3 weeks or what?
Yeah.
For a month? None of that. Like,
None of
just.
that.
And that was
yeah,
a
I think
big,
so.
the business side of it, obviously, baseball was in a lockout. Like,
Right.
we were in a lockout for a while this year, which that kind of hurt a little bit, but it was necessary, right?
Right.
People always want to talk about, oh, he's, they're greedy and selfish. Like, no.
No.
Like,
No.
the other side is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason
No.
why we're locked out. Because we were the lowest, we play the most games, and we had the lowest league minimum of any of the four professional sports.
Right.
Tell me how that works, right?
Crazy.
And then
Crazy.
there's it's crazy. It's,
No, I know.
The business
I mean,
side of sports is not fun sometimes.
we have like, I don't know if you guys do too. I mean, you have a lot of time on your hands. Sometimes, like when when you're working out or practicing or whatever the case may be, and after you're done, we just sit down sometime and just talk and like have like we put our GM hats on.
Yeah,
like, all right,
right.
let's talk about this. The biggest conversation that always comes about is that a lot of guys are like, I'm gonna play with this organization as long as I can. Like I'm gonna see how it goes. And then, the older guys kind of chirp in like, look, man, that shouldn't even be your thought. You should say, whoever's trying to pay me the most money, I'm going there. I don't care if it's like loyalty to these teams. Like I'm going to that team and I'm going to play my butt off to, try to make sure I get paid.
Because
But
no
next
team
time,
has loyalty to
you
you.
don't have no loyalty to you.
No. It's
None.
all about if you're a pawn in the game.
In the game.
Right?
That's it. Everybody's a small pawn and it's like, hey, once that pawn is like, we knocked him over. Oh, he's out. Like
Out
that's
the game.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Y'all's union, the NBA's union is way better than.
I mean, but we
it's
lost
gotten-
a lot this past
Did y'all?
CBA because it was like 54-46, but then they shifted back where it's like 51-49 now because we had to give leverage because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Like COVID screwed us over because
Lost games.
we lost games, we lost revenue with the fans, but it was like I think we had to hit a cusp of like 72 games to make sure that we didn't have to go back to CBA. So that's why kind of like the whole bubble situation started because we were like, look, we have to get to that 72 game cusp so that way we don't have to go renegotiate all these CBA.
Right.
Because at that point, then it would be 50-50 and then, we're losing revenue at that point from a player standpoint.
Right.
But we end up finishing the season out and then, we kind of got on.
Y'all do a really good. The NBA does a really good job of marketing their players.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
They do.
Baseball doesn't do that.
I was about to say, I think
we're probably the worst at all. Now, obviously, NFL's king.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna do, but NBA as far as marketing their players, like I don't think.
I think NBA does the best when it comes
I think
to
they're the
marketing
best,
single
for
players,
sure.
and I don't even really think it's that close.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. That's
I mean, it's also the easiest to market when it comes to, hey, grabbing a guy and we can put him in any other situation and basically it looks like what you see on the court, obviously, because all you're wearing is a jersey, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think baseball and soccer would probably be next from the standpoint of if it was
visibility kind of
visibility,
stuff.
yeah. But like
It should be.
football is tough because got the
Stuff. You
helmets
got a helmet
on.
on. You're almost better off in football marketing yourself some kind of way in the helmet, as
Right.
you know what I mean, as opposed to like
Or
not
the
in helmet.
jersey.
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Visor or however you wear it. Like whatever you do, you know what I mean.
Right.
You're almost better
Right.
off doing that.
Right.
They don't even let them wear cleats. The special cleats. Like they don't. The NFL's strict, but
I hate that rule.
me
That's
too.
super strict.
There's no
Terrible, man.
point.
Hey, you
Thank God that you still only be able to use
they
Reebok.
get fined for. Do they get fined for untucked jerseys? They get fined for no socks. They get
Yeah.
fined for all that stuff.
They get fined for everything.
Everything. Odell got fined for that. I mean, I don't know why you wear a $400,000 watch on the field, but
Yeah,
That's a different story.
that's
But
why you
it's
probably
like-
got that watch for free. To be honest with you,
He probably did.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
it's-
marketing for whoever had it.
It doesn't make sense. Like it's like they really like just try to like just hit these guys over the head with like a hammer.
Yeah.
Just like, look, you can't do nothing. You got to be straight and narrow. And I'm like, dog, like these are your guys. Like don't do that.
Let
to
them
me.
show their personality. It's better for the game, honestly.
Yeah.
The NFL is not marketing the player though; they're marketing the product. They don't.
No doubt.
They
It's
don't
always
care
about
who's
the shoe.
playing.
We know
Yeah,
that.
they
Yeah,
just
no doubt.
they
But
just see
yeah,
a jersey.
Right.
NBA does the best job, I think, of marketing their actual players. Like
Yeah.
players have a voice.
And giving the players the ability to do their thing.
To do what they want to do. Yeah. I mean, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, nah.
He's having a great year again. Nobody's still.
Yeah, nobody's talking about him.
They really only talk about like if you had to really look at if you were an outside fan. Like I do watch baseball from time to time, but like if you had to look at it like Trout, and then they look at the kid from I think it's the other kid on the team.
Ohtani.
Yeah, Ohtani.
Yeah. Because he throws 100 miles an hour, hits the ball 500
yeah,
feet.
And it's like this kid, he does both. He does, oh man, it's the guy, it's the next guy. I'm like, that doesn't mean he's good. You know what I mean? And because you got to think about like, what's the guy with the Yankees that was
Judge.
Yeah. He was blowing up. Like he hit all these home runs the first year, and now like he's kind of like just being a natural player. And then now they like, oh, we can't market him no more. We got this guy.
Right.
It's like wow, like it's crazy.
This guy's 6'7". You should probably
always market him.
Yeah,
as long as he's in the league, but you should always get him up.
Always
blow him up it's only good for you if you can blow him up to be a bigger than life feature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I mean, I don't know if you guys know, what is the budget for marketing for?
That's the
problem.
That's
so
the
MLB has a lot of regulations on so we can't go market ourselves. Like we have to.
So there's no licensing deal?
No,
there is, but we don't have a big.
It's with Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
they're getting a cut of pretty much everything.
Oh,
that's the problem of it.
Yeah,
that's why it's not. And then inside the game itself. I personally don't think they do a great job of singling out great players to do. But that's the big problem too.
Yeah.
They're trying to. They have the mic'd up stuff where you can listen to them.
I saw the guy he took a ground ball.
Mike Trout had a huge deal with State Farm.
Yeah.
MLB's getting a cut of that.
Yeah.
A huge cut of that. So that's where the problem is.
But I think this CBA was better.
Yeah.
Hopefully
what's the difference? Like,
so our minimum got raised to like 700.
Okay.
Right? And then there is like a higher threshold. Like we don't have a salary cap.
Right.
There's a luxury tax. It's technically a salary cap, but the luxury tax got raised.
Oh yeah.
I like the floor that y'all have in the NBA.
Right.
Because that forces teams to spend money.
You have to spend money. Yeah.
The cap raising the luxury tax doesn't force the Pittsburgh Pirates, who aren't going to spend money, to spend money. Right.
So there is no floor in baseball.
There's no floor.
There is no floor.
But they all still get a cut of the same amount of revenue.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, hey, I'm still making money over here, not
So
spending any of it.
They're not. So like it doesn't basically bring the competitive balance.
Yeah,
it
doesn't hurt them.
The big market teams are going to spend whatever the hell they want.
Right.
And the small market teams, especially if they don't feel like they're in it, they just going
just tank.
Just tank.
You mentioned a little bit about this is going back a little bit. It's like for young guys, like don't show really any loyalty to a team, but go where the money is and go play as hard as you can to get that kind of super max deal or max deal. What have you made of this Zion situation in New Orleans with him? Because it feels like it's played out in a very peculiar way, but now he's bought in. But have you ever seen somebody be on a team, go travel to train somewhere else, be kind of like by proxy a part of it, and he's not being able to play out any of this, which would be his rookie deal?
From the standpoint of him getting hurt, that's the only reason why I say it's actually better for the Pelicans. Because they're gonna have to pay him, but I don't think it'd be probably the top of the top where other scale guys would get from a rookie standpoint. Because what Zion and Ja got, they're in the same class, right?
Yeah.
So they probably would have to pay Ja more because he won Rookie of the Year. He paid won a couple of the awards, most improved. Yeah. So it's like Zion he'll probably get a little bit less than what Ja's gonna get, but he'll still get a max. He'll get a super max, whatever the case may be. But from a standpoint of like him being the guy for the Pelicans going forward, like I think that it was great for the team to send him away, to get his knees looked at, to get his body checked out, because I think that was the whole issue. How do we let him eat what he wants, let him do what he needs to do to take care of his body, that way he can come back as healthy as he needs to be, and then he can help this organization go forward. Them trading to get CJ, like that was a great trade.
Huge.
Now, like you can kind of see that he's bought back in. Yeah. He's coming to the games again. Now he's like, I'm ready to play now. Like they quote unquote the NBA wanted to market him. They want if the Pelicans would have beat the Suns, he would have came back and played second round. I guarantee it.
Oh, because the NBA would have been pushing it on TV, like showing Zion again and Zion.
They kept showing him dunking and all that, but it's like that's a sample size of like what's really going on. You don't know if he can really get up and down or not. But that's what they want. The NBA wants the fans to be like, oh man, like Zion's back. Like, so now you see, the Pelicans kind of get, hyped up to see that. So that's why I'm like, look, it's probably the best for both parties. Like they probably both, worked on a deal where, hey, look, you know, let's talk about like negotiating this next contract. You come back, we'll send you to this to get repaired, get all taken care of. We'll meet in the middle. All right, let's get back going.
I think you would agree with this too. For a guy like him with the frame that he has, people looked at him as like, oh, he's out of shape, he's too big right now. Well, let's be honest. If he's not actually playing basketball games right now, it's really hard to be in basketball shape.
He's out of shape
for that frame. Like
shape.
you're not gonna get back into what you saw him if he's not playing it every day. His dad came on the show and said
he was ready.
It just is what it is. Like he's not built with a thinner frame, so you're not gonna see that when he's not playing every day.
Basketball shape is different from basketball shape. That's all I gotta say. Cause
I believe it.
Like literally, like when you're playing, like okay, you start getting in shape. Like that's why. It's almost like you could train as hard as you want in the summertime. You can do all these pickup games, this, that, and the third, until you start playing actual games, like with other NBA guys, like in training camp, preseason. Like you don't get in shape until you get to that point. And then, from the standpoint of like, you know, seeing like where he's gonna be at, I feel like he's gonna have a hell of a year this next year.
I agree.
He's gonna bounce back.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be pretty good with those three.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Reggie Miller was saying, he said, "You tell me this guy can't give me 15 minutes, 12 minutes." Yeah. I'm like, hey, and Reggie was stirring the pot a little bit.
No, he definitely can. Like they don't want to make him the scapegoat either. Like,
no doubt.
Like, that's the same thing with having. I mean, you know, now Ben Simmons is having surgery, but that was the issue too. Like if he didn't have the back issue. If they would have thrown him out there for the last couple of games, like would he have had like that impact? Like
they're setting him up for failure, kind of.
They're setting him up for failure. So it's like, oh, he struggled. Look, I told y'all, like he's terrible. Like then it's like,
right.
And they started to ramp him back up, and the NBA did exactly what you said they would do with Zion, where it's like, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back for Game 6.
Right.
And he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm out. Like,
yeah, he didn't do himself any favors by talking about some of the stuff. He's just he should have said my back is still hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
He said that. What do you say? His mental health is making his back hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the mental health part, but if you're like just that just created a narrative from people to jump on and still hammer him. It's like, hey, your back's still hurt. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Say that your back's still hurt. That's fine. It's your life, bro.
Just relax.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, just relax and hey.
That's Philly.
Shake back next year.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean,
that's really all you can.
Yeah, you can't really say too much. I mean, just get healthy. That's all you can say.
That's it. Yeah. Dude, thank you so much for this. I don't want to keep you. We kept you a long time. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Appreciate the conversation. As I said, we don't try to ask any crazy questions. Have conversation about this. You're our first NBA player on here, so
okay, nice.
Appreciate it. First one, so that's good.
Nah,
like I said, I love the NBA. I love basketball.
Yep.
So it was nice to get a little insight.
No, for sure.
I'm gonna buy some shoes too.
Please do.
I'm gonna get on there.
Please
and get
do.
some shoes.
Go check it out. I mean, they run a half size big, so
all right. So 12.5.
12.5.
They run a half size big.
Half size big. So
maybe 12.
Yeah. So if you wear a size, I'm a 12.5. I'm a legit 12.5. But if you wear a size 13, I would say get a 12.5.
Okay. I'm gonna get 12.5. I wear 13. I'm wear 12.5. Yeah. And if other people watching, listening, want to get to the show, get some shoes.
Yep.
Where do they find? Where can they get them at?
So everything is Ethics the brand, social media, ethicsthebrand.com website. We got dad hats on there. I have my dad hat on right now. We're getting merch as things are kind of progressing. So,
awesome.
please go check us out. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
With whatever team you're on, wherever you're at next year. Go ball out in the mini camps. And then I've been a fan from afar. Since we're both from Louisiana, both live in Baton Rouge, but now I'm a fan up close. Now we're friends, so I appreciate you coming on, man.
No, for sure.
Hopefully we can get you on again sometime.
No, for sure. I'd love to come on. I love podcasts. I don't know.
Yeah, I do too. It's just
it's
something I've always wanted to do, and it's just like I never wanted to do.
And you guys got a dope setup.
Thank you.
Say that, man.
Thank you.
It's a dope setup. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we got we're working. We're growing.
I'm about to get you guys. So I have my sneaker podcast that I do it's called Kicking It with LG.
Yeah.
And so it's like in my sneaker room where I have all my sneakers. I'll show you guys a picture after this, and but I gotta get you guys on.
Let's do it. I'm in.
We can talk sneakers and you can see the setup.
Yeah. Y'all can teach me. Y'all can tell me what I need to go get to get my sneaker closet.
There it is.
That's it.
Yeah,
all right. We're gonna take a little bit of a break. I get Langston out of here. You're watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive.